My guest tonight is a longtime friend of my wife, Kelly. They have been friends since they were 9 years old, growing up in the same neighborhood. And because of this, I got a great friend out of it. Not only does she have an amazing name, but her birthday is also on an amazing day. The day after mine. Virgos forever. Please welcome Laura Uglean. Quarantini Time.
Thanks. Hi, Laura.
What are we drinking tonight?
A French martini.
What all goes into a French martini?
So it's 2 shots of vodka, a shot of Chambord, and then like 2 to 3 shots of pineapple juice.
That sounds delicious, and cheers.
Cheers.
I'm just sticking with my classic dirty martini, which I think I've got down about now.
Did you master it?
I'm using 2 shots of vodka, 1 shot of olive juice, and that's about it. And it's
Nice.
the most amazing thing I've ever had. Well, Laura, you are one of the coolest people I know because we share the same name. I mean, how awesome is that?
Yeah, and almost the same birthday, right?
I was just going to say, our birthdays are 364 days apart. So, including our names and our birthdays being so close together and so similar, we also share a love of movies. And I take part in your Oscar pool every single year and lose every single year. But I wanted to know, what was your favorite Oscar movie from this year?
It was Parasite, hands down. Yeah, I loved that movie. I thought it was really well done. I only saw it once in the theaters. I should probably watch it again, just to make sure that still stands. But I don't know. I thought it was such a unique film and had so many like twists and turns throughout the plot, and I liked all the characters and the underlying messages, and the cinematography was beautiful, and I thought it definitely deserved to win Best Picture. So,
Well, what did you see any movies that weren't nominated for Oscars that you really enjoyed this year?
yeah, I mean, we watched so many movies. We watched pretty much anything that could potentially be nominated. And one that I thought got snubbed was Dolomite Is My Name. And it's about, I forget his name, it's about a real life comedian. He like started this whole wave of a certain kind of comedy. And it's got Eddie Murphy. That was like Eddie Murphy's big comeback film.
Nice. I'll have to check that one out for
Yeah, you
sure.
gotta watch that. We were hearing Oscar buzz on that film, and it didn't get nominated for anything.
Well, along with the Oscar pool, you and I gamble on a lot of things together. You do a lot more than I do, along with your husband, Luke. What has been your biggest win so far?
Biggest win gambling. That would have to be Black Hawk, Colorado, 31st birthday. I had this epic, well, it wasn't an epic party, but just like all my friends. Kelly was there actually. All my friends came up at one point or another, and we got on a heater on the craps table, and that table was hot until 4:30 in the morning. And whenever I play craps, I always bet the minimum, because anytime I start to play the numbers and the extra things, that's when like the bad luck comes. So even though I was only playing the minimum, I won hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And my friend Mike Blakely, he was there, and he must have won thousands, because he was all over the board, and it was incredible.
Sounds like a pretty epic night. You and your husband, Luke, you are self-proclaimed loving dinks. Dual income, no kids. I love it. I'm very jealous of your lifestyle sometimes. But you guys travel to some of the most amazing places I have ever seen. Where do you love to go traveling, and where's your next adventure after this whole pandemic is over?
Oh, that's a great question. I love talking about travel and thinking about where we're going to go next. So our favorite place in the world is Thailand. We've been there twice. We first went in 2010, and we just fell in love with the culture and the people and the scenery and how affordable everything was, and the food, and it's an amazing, amazing country. and then we went back a year ago December, and an amazing time, and kind of like knew the ropes, and knew what to do, and knew some of the things to look out for. And so Thailand is on the top of our list, and I want to go back every 10 years throughout my life. That's my goal. We are really, really hoping this year to get to Morocco. And that's always been on the radar, to get to Morocco in like October.
Nice. That sounds like an amazing trip. I hope you guys can get that this year. So, also as dinks, you guys can do other fun stuff. When you lived in California, I know we came out to visit you. We went to the kayaking club and everything like that. But I most love that you joined a wine club and got to learn so much about wines and everything you love about those. I know this is all about what are some of your favorites, but I want to know what's your favorite red, white, rosé, champagne? Like, what is your favorite type of wine? And then what are some of your actual favorite wineries, I guess?
Sure. So the answer to my favorite wine is yes. Champagne, rosé, Cabernet, Pinot, Chardonnay. Those are actually my favorites. I mean, I can drink champagne all day, every day. I can drink sparkling rosé all day, every day. I can drink like a nice dry rosé. That's my go-to drink in the summertime. And there's not really a type of wine that I don't like. I mean, if it's like cheap and sweet and gross, then that's the kind of wine I don't like.
So no
But
Boone's Farm for you.
exactly, no Boone's Farm, no longer. Now, I mean, Pinot tends to be a little bit lighter bodied, and well, it depends on where it's from, but it can be fruity, and then Cabernets are more full bodied, and those are some of my favorite red wines. But I also like Merlots, and hands down our favorite brand of wine, or our favorite vineyard, is Saddleback Cellars. So my dad, he used to live at the VA home in the heart of Napa Valley, and that's where he spent the last 10 or so years of his life. And so I got to go visit him in Napa Valley, and it was one of our first trips out there in 2008. We were kind of tired of, like, there's a lot of huge, well-known, brand name wineries in Napa, and I was kind of tired of those places because they're so impersonal, and there's tons of people, and the wine's not that good. And so one day we just kind of went for a drive, and we were in Oakville. That's a region in Napa Valley. And we stumbled on this, it's a barn, kind of in the middle of, not the middle of nowhere, but on the outskirts. And we happened to be there on a day where they were open and have a tasting, and every single wine that we tasted was amazing. And so we joined the wine club in 2008, and we've been members ever since. And if you can order online, you can get their wines online, and I recommend Saddleback Cellars.
You threw an epic 40th birthday party for yourself, which I adored. You did your very own wine tasting for all of your friends, and I actually stole a bottle of rosé from that, and it is delicious.
Yeah, that was the Gloria Ferrer. Yeah, that's one of my favorite sparkling rosés. All of her sparklings are great, and that's a woman-owned winery in Sonoma County.
I've taken this James Lipton questionnaire, as you know, if you've been watching Quarantini Time. I've kind of turned it into my own COVID-19 James Lipton questionnaire. Are you ready to go through that with me?
I'm ready.
All right. What's your favorite word?
Right now, my favorite word is hope. I'm always trying to find some hope in the world right now, and gosh, it's hard. And I loved how Obama used that word in his campaign.
What is your least favorite word?
I do have a word that I absolutely cannot stand, and I like words. I mean, even a word that has a horrible meaning behind it or that conjures up negativity. Like, the word itself isn't necessarily a bad word, right? But there is a word that I really dislike, and that word is pubis. I think I know where when I learned that I really dislike that word. And I was reading this book, I think it was called Miami, but it was this book, it's a fiction, it's a novel, and it's about a female sexual predator. And the author uses that word. It seemed like she used the word a lot, and I would just cringe when I would read sentences with that word.
Who would you most like to be in a stay-at-home quarantine with? Fictional, non-fictional, dream date?
I just realized that it could be fictional, and that kind of changes everything. I think I'd want to be stuck in quarantine with Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones.
Yes, that is amazing.
Yes, yes, because we would be drinking together a lot, and there would be no judgments. And there would be great conversation. Yeah, I feel like he'd be an easy house guest, he'd just kind of go with the flow. And
Who would you least like to be in a stay-at-home quarantine with?
trying to think of somebody other than Donald Trump. I can't imagine being quarantined with just about anybody besides Luke. I mean, maybe Sarah Palin. That would be pretty terrible.
What is your favorite curse word?
It would have to be fuck. I've been using that a lot. I've been really enjoying it. It's very liberating to be like, we're all fucked. It can be used in all situations.
What sound or noise do you love?
My dog or cat snoring.
What sound or noise do you hate?
So it really drives me crazy when people don't use headphones when they should be. So, and actually, just the past week, I have noticed people walking around my neighborhood or doing yard work, and they're blasting talk radio on their cell phone. Like, there's people walking down the trail blasting talk radio. I'm convinced it's conservative talk radio, so then I'm super annoyed. And it drives me freaking nuts.
Wear your headphones, people. This is a PSA. We have it in our neighborhood too. If you could only have one type of food during the stay-at-home quarantine, what would it be?
It would be sushi, either just raw fish or maybe, served up in a roll or served in a poke bowl or in a sushi burrito. I could eat sushi every day.
What profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
Yeah, it's kind of a toss-up between social worker, I think. I think that'd be a really rewarding job. I know it would be hard as hell. Or a freelance writer.
What profession other than yours would you not like to do?
Anything at the airport, especially the people who have to work outside. And especially at like DIA in a colder climate. God, I hope I don't end up at the airport after all this is over.
And finally, the last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I would want him to say, "Are you ready to go to the dog park?" There would be all my dogs throughout my life waiting for me.
I absolutely love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight on Quarantini Time. I have loved having you here.
Oh,
Here's to you, my friend.
Here's to you. It's been an honor.